You've probably heard this phrase before, written thousands of years ago, a curse on a serpent. You will eat dust all the days of your life? But what if that wasn't about a literal snake at all? In this explainer, we're diving deep into a theological text that says this curse is actually a huge metaphor for a cosmic struggle. So what does it really mean to eat dust?
So here it is, straight from the book of Genesis. Seems like a pretty straightforward punishment for a snake, right? Well, not so fast. According to the text we're exploring, this is way more than that. It's a profound metaphor for a struggle that involves, well, every single one of us.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the curse itself, then figure out what eating dust really means. After that, we'll explore 5 different interpretations and see how this whole thing connects to humanity's biggest struggles and the only way to win. Okay, let's dive right in. Section 1, the curse on the serpent. This isn't just any old punishment. So first things first, a super critical point from our source material, the serpent here is Satan. And get this, the text says God didn't create a tempter. Satan chose that role for himself. So this curse, this eating dust, isn't just some random punishment. Nope, it's the direct result of that choice. It's the consequence of his deception. Which brings us to section 2, and really the heart of the matter, the meaning of eating dust. Okay, so what on earth does it mean to eat dust? Well, the source gives us a really powerful symbolic key. Think about it. What was humanity made from? Dust. And what do we return to when we die? Dust. So if dust is a stand-in for the human body, for our flesh, then the curse for Satan to eat dust suddenly becomes a curse to eat flesh. And whoa, that changes absolutely everything about the relationship between the tempter and the tempted.
All right, on to section 3. Now, the text we're looking at doesn't just give one simple answer. It actually lays out 5 different ways we can interpret this.
So here they are, the 5 different ways the source breaks down this curse. You can think of these as 5 different strategies that Satan uses in this cosmic chess match with humanity. Let's walk through each one. So view number 1 is all about the internal struggle. The idea is that eating dust means Satan is working from the inside, stirring up all those fleshly, sinful desires. But the text also presents a counter-argument. Hang on, those desires are actually part of God's original curse on humanity. They'd be there with or without Satan's meddling. The second interpretation is basically spiritual information warfare. In this view, eating dust is all about controlling people by burying the truth. The text says Satan uses false teachings, fake miracles, and just a constant flood of distractions, kind of like spiritual fake news, all designed to keep people confused and trapped. Now, this third view gets way more direct and, honestly, a little creepy. It says sin isn't just a mistake, it's an invitation. The text argues that when you sin, it's like you're unlocking a door in your own being, letting evil spirits come in and turn your body into enemy-occupied territory. Okay, for this fourth one, we're zooming out from the individual to, well, the entire planet. The argument here is that Satan didn't just mess with people. He staged a hostile takeover of Earth. He basically kicked humanity out of its role as caretaker and replaced God's law with the law of the jungle, a new world order where might makes right. And finally, the fifth view. This one ties eating dust directly to our own mortality. It's the idea that Satan was given the power to make our bodies age, get sick, and die. But the text immediately pushes back hard on this, saying, nope, God alone has power over life and death. Our mortality is a divine judgment, not a job that got outsourced to Satan. So after looking at all that, what does this actually mean for us? That brings us to section 4, humanity's existential struggle. And the text uses the term Adam here to talk about all of humanity. The big takeaway here is that this isn't some simple, straightforward battle. It's a full-on assault on multiple fronts. The source lays out this whole toolkit of deception, attacking from the inside with desires and from the outside with misinformation. And the end game is always the same, to create distance, to keep humanity disconnected from God. And all of this leads to a pretty sobering, stark conclusion within the text's framework. We are stuck in a fight that we are fundamentally not equipped to win. On our own, left to our own devices, humanity is set up to fail. So, if that's the case, what's the way out?
Well, that brings us right to Section 5, the only path to victory. Because if we're outmatched, the good news is the text proposes a very specific solution. Now, the text lays out this really clear three-step process. And what's so interesting is, it's not about just trying harder or gritting your teeth. It all starts with a realization, an aha moment. Then you move to receiving divine help. And only then, powered by that outside help, does overcoming the struggle become even possible.
So you might be wondering, where does divine law fit into all of this? Is it just a list of do's and don'ts? Well, this text argues it's something totally different. It's a mirror. It's not there to make you perfect. It's there to show you that you aren't and that you can't be on your own. It reveals that weakness to prove exactly why that divine help is so essential.
And this all builds to our final section, number 6, beyond the power of death. This is where the whole cosmic power structure we thought we understood gets completely flipped on its head. Okay, this is just fascinating. What we have here is basically a cosmic power ranking. Down at the bottom, you've got Satan. He seems powerful, sure, but only inside the bubble of sin and death. But death itself is stronger than him. Even he can't escape it. But then, and this is the kicker, the text says the faithful, the saints, are stronger than death through God's love. And of course, at the very top is God, for whom death is just another created thing.
So the ultimate point here is a total reversal of how we think about things. Death, the final boss, the ultimate fear, it gets demoted. It's no longer the end-all be-all. In this framework, it's just one more created thing, and it has zero power to cut the connection between a believer and God.
And so, that leaves us with this central question that this whole analysis points to. If we find ourselves in a struggle we can't win alone, but there's a specific path to victory being offered, what does that mean? Is our fate sealed by a curse from the dawn of time, or is it defined by the choice we make in response to it?